Okay, Sunday, 4th of July, 2021. Happy birthday, Nikki. Happy birthday, America. I got a 3-day weekend and I'm not going to do jack shit except play pool. And watch TV and play RimWorld and take naps and drink beer and smoke cigarettes. Not going anywhere is kind of what I'm saying here. So. But I do have some stuff that I want to say on video. Yeah, it's going to be a little disjointed. I think this is going to be just for me, not for YouTube or whatever. I think it's going to be that disjointed, which, you know, let's face it, it's not a big surprise that I would not have any freaking idea what I'm going to say when I turn the camera on. But I've been playing with, you know, what I kind of started out calling it the dog style, lead with the shoulder. I made a video about it called Cinching. I'm still messing with it, and I've got some theories and some thoughts and maybe even some facts about it that I hadn't quite caught before. There's my cat, so now I'm going to miss every shot, so that's good timing. It's tough to remember that I have to do the other stuff. I have to get lined up and all this stuff, the angle of attack. I do all of that. The only thing that I'm trying to do differently is lead with the shoulder, but I catch myself a lot just leading with the shoulder. Bend over, lead with the shoulder, and the ball doesn't go in. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? That's because I didn't do anything else right. So that's tougher than I had expected it to be. I almost missed that shot, but there's my cat. It's tougher than I expected. It's something I continue to mess with. Now, one of the things that I also noticed was that when I would remember, oh gosh, Dave, you got to do everything right, and then lead with the shoulder. That's when I noticed, like if I get lined up and I'm acting like I'm going to derby this ball in, and then the only thing that's going to change is lead with the shoulder. Don't have as much success as I would hope. I don't have as much success doing it that way as I would just shooting regular derby style. If this is on YouTube, you don't know what the fuck derby style is. But I have a million different styles, and what I call derby style is the one that I played the last Derby City Classic in and did really well in banks. What I've noticed about this lead with the shoulder is it wants me to be up a little bit higher than derby style. Not a lot, whatever I am now, just a little bit higher than derby style. I believe that's a good thing because I've always wanted to be up a little bit off the cue to see angles better and such. But it's something else that I have to remember. I can't believe how slow that cue ball came off that rail. It was pretty ridiculous. That's definitely something that I noticed, though, is I just need to be up off the cue. Ah, good shot, my cat. Quit touching my foot. Anyway, this has got me to wonder. Well, let me talk about the other thing that I've noticed. I've noticed that my bank shots, when I'm up off the cue a little bit and leading with the shoulder, I'm not as successful. Of course, that one went in. See, balls like to make liars out of me, but the banks have not been as successful with this lead with the shoulder and raised up a little bit. Now, I think, or I have a theory that maybe the visual alignment is different in a consistent way from when I'm down here with my chin on the cue versus up a little bit. I've always known, I've always said that if I'm down here like a snooker player, then the relationship between the stick and my eyes is going to be pretty darn consistent. But if I raise up a little bit, it could be off. It could be off a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, a little bit forward, a little bit back, I guess. It could be different. What I'm really starting to think though is maybe it's not random, maybe it's consistently different. Maybe it is different, not could be different. And beyond that, maybe it's consistently. I have a shot. I'm bad at examples, but I'm going to try one because I was shooting this. Now, this example, because I'm bad at them, is going to go right in the heart of the pocket. But after I make this shot right in the heart of the pocket, then I'll tell you what happens in real life when the camera's not running. This is a perfectly straight-in shot, length of the table diagonal. I'm raised up a little bit, like this style seems to want. As I said, it went right in the pocket. But in real life, I bet I shot this shot 5 or 6 times in a row and missed it to the right every time. Really felt like I was correct up here, and really being careful, especially after I missed it 2 or 3 times. Then I'm like, man, I suck, and then let's really bear down, let's really get it, you know. There, missed that ball to the right. Then what happened was, I said, okay, I'm going to derby this ball in, and I'm going to put my chin back down on the cue really close to it. And I could miss the shot. I could not miss that shot. I bet I made 15 or 20 in a row, like that. And then I raised up again. And didn't do the leading with the shoulder for this time around. I just kind of did like my normal stroke, but just raised up. Just raised up a little bit off the cue. Whatever the hell this is, 3 or 4 inches at most, I bet. And missed to the right. Have my head up a little bit. It's changing my visual perception of the shot, I believe, to cause my shot line, I guess, to be further to the left than I think it is, which makes me cut balls to the right. I don't have to like it, but I think that's what's happening. Whether that's what's happening until the end of time, or that's what's happening today, it definitely has been happening. So I have to just watch that. But right now, I have to make a conscious adjustment. On the 6, if I'm going to shoot this with this cinch stroke, this lead with the shoulder, I'm going to make a conscious effort to put the 6 in the left side of the pocket, to cheat the pocket. I'm not trying to miss it to the left and then because I suck it's going to go to the right and go in. I'm just trying to get myself a little bit more margin for error by shooting the 6 and cheating the pocket. Now, that ball hadn't gone to the center of the pocket, and I was aiming at the left side. Could be a coincidence. I've done this often enough today. I don't really think it's a coincidence. I think as I raise my, look at cat, as I raise my head off the cue, then not only does my head go up vertically in relation to my stick, it's going off to the right or going off to the left. It's doing something. Or my head is turning and therefore moving my eyes. I don't have that part figured out. I just got the what happens, what ends up happening, not why it happens. So I definitely want to talk about that. The other thing I want to talk about is just something that I told myself quite a while ago. When I first started messing with this lead with the shoulder, I kind of half joked to myself that if I do that, I'm putting more mass into the shot. Therefore, it's going to go just a little bit harder. The banks are going to come a little bit shorter than if I led with the elbow. Don't know if that's true or not, but it did prove itself to be true. And this, it's about the same amount of difference that I get if I flex both knees and shoot, or if I brace my back leg and shoot. If I brace my back leg and shoot, I end up shooting a little bit harder because I'm braced a little bit better. Again, don't know if these are the explanations, but these are what happens. This is what happens. So on this shot right here, this is a dead bank. It's a little bit short already. Just the way I have it lined up, it's a little bit short. If I lead with the shoulder, it's going to come even more short. So I have to cut it a little bit to my left, or I have to put a little bit of right on. In this case, I'm going to put a little bit of right on. Just an eighth of a tip is probably too much, but just a little bit. I've got my back leg braced. That's all rattled, but yeah, so that's interesting, and that is something I wasn't expecting. Here I started doing this lead with the shoulder and shot really well for several days and thinking, wow, there's something about this that's the secret pool. At least a part of that is just the fact that I'm up a little bit higher and able to see the angles a little bit more clearly. I have talked about this kind of thing in my own personal videos before. If I want to cut this 13 down in the corner, there's an angle. It's a cut shot. If I'm going to get all the way down on the cue and shoot this, I've got to find this angle when I'm up here, and then I've got to remember the angle when I get down. I don't have really good depth perception because I had LASIK in this eye and not in this eye. It's called monovision. It basically means I don't have very good depth perception. That's basically what it means. So if I'm going to cut this ball from all the way down here, I got to remember what that angle was. So I can kind of see it, but I can't see it nearly as well. If I'm up off the cue even just a little bit, I can see the angle better than if I was lower. Makes perfect sense, right? If I was up here, like Minnesota Fats in his old age, in his old later years, I can see the angle really well. Here I can see it kind of well. Here I can see it kind of well. It gets worse the lower I get. So just raising up just a little bit helps me to see. I hate it when I miss. Helps me to see that angle better than I've been seeing it for years with my chin all the way down to the cue. Yeah, so that's interesting. One of the things that I want to find out, God, I need a physical coach that can watch the way I shoot, watch what swerves might be happening, almost certainly are happening, and tell me, hey, this is happening, and then ideally tell me how to correct it. I don't have anything like that, so I have to try to figure it out by myself. I shoot it into the camera and crap like that. I think that as long as I'm raised up a little bit, then leading with the shoulder gives me a straighter stroke than leading with the elbow. I think that is the case. I have not proven it to myself or to anybody else yet. Oops. That was that alignment thing. Notice that 15 went long. It went further to the right than I was expecting. This is what has been happening. I just have to watch that, and for now, make a conscious adjustment on that. Hopefully not forever. I hope I don't have to make that conscious adjustment forever, because that would get old really quickly. I'm going to show you all something here. This is me being a nerd, okay? I'm not going to do the rest of the stuff, but I'm going to tell you what the other thing I have to do. If that string is indeed correct, and my camera is indeed correct, then that string should be cutting this diamond in half. And pretty much hiding this line that I had drawn in my cloth. For that part of it, I have to adjust the camera. It's a pretty complicated mount that I've got set up there for the camera, but unfortunately it's not locked in place. It does jiggle when I move the camera, when I put the camera card in and shit like that. But what I do, you know, once, twice a quarter, whatever, whenever I feel like there's a weird swerve going on, is I'll set up the string, I'll set up the camera, verify it all on video that everything is correct. You know, that string should be cutting that 13 in half. That string should be cutting that cue ball in half. And I'll just try different things and see what happens. One of the things that I noticed here within the last year was I would get lined up for the shot and the cue would be over here. It wouldn't be over the diamond. I was actually lining up wrong. And then I also had a swerve in my strokes. So no wonder I was very inconsistent. I know I've done a good job. Don't have it perfect yet, that's for damn sure, of getting lined up correctly so the cue is over this diamond and over the string the whole way. So now all I have to do is stroke straight. Before, I had to get back on track as I was shooting. Starting out crooked, and I had to get it straight before I hit the ball. Don't have to do it anymore, but I do this kind of a shot, either with the cue ball or with an object ball, and obviously I try to get something better than what just happened. In this case, what I want to happen is I want to get a kiss. I want the 13 to come back and hit the cue ball. That's what I want to happen. And it's not happening yet. Maybe the table, actually I haven't done this since the table was re-leveled. I don't know for a fact that it's leveled. But the other thing that I'll do is just aim at that diamond. And I missed the whole diamond. Did I miss the whole diamond because I suck? Or because the table's not level? Some combination of the two? Don't know. Don't know. What? I missed the whole diamond to the left again. This table may be drifting that way. I need to find this stuff out before I beat myself up too bad. What I need to do though is once I need to get the string straight, get the camera straight, get the table good and all that, and then I need to get my cue down, my chin down on the cue. Boy, I think I might have an optical illusion, honestly, because I'm missing that to the left pretty damn consistently. I need to shoot with my chin down on the cue, and I need to raise up and lead with the shoulder. I need to try all kinds of various things and just see. I believe that with four inches or so distance between my chin and the cue, leading with the shoulder, is a more accurate shot. Consistently missing that ball to the left. Don't know why. Don't know if the string's completely correct. So don't know if you'd be able to tell in the video, is what I'm getting at. We don't really care. I don't think I had anything else that I wanted to put on this little thing. Just some of the new tidbits that I've been thinking about as I've continued down this lead with the shoulder experiment of mine. It's already lasted longer than a lot of experiments that I start. I shoot really well the first night, and then by the next 24 hours later, it's gone. This lasted a lot longer than that, mostly because I've been more accurate for a longer period of time. So it's been fun for me, and it's been intriguing for me to be. I hate my phone. Did I ever mention that? All right, I'm gonna quit talking. Bye. Yeah, I just did an experiment. I kept hitting that ball to the left of the diamond. I want to see if it's because of the table or because I suck. I've got this Lego ramp thing, this homemade little stent meter that I use. And I've got this lined up. Look where that ball goes. Boom, straight to the diamond. So, I was hitting the cue ball to the left of the diamond by an inch because I suck. Already, just within the last several days of playing with my head up just a little bit off the cue, I've changed my visual alignment that much. I'm getting more used to having my head up 4 inches than I remain used to having it all the way down. This is a good thing as long as I stick with it. Now, if I decide that this lead with the shoulder, raise up a little bit, is not the way to go for me, and I just want to go back to like derby style, I want to have my head back down, then I'm going to have to go through the same kind of a transition period again. I'm going to have to get used to it again. I'm convinced there's something different in the visual alignment depending on where my head is. And I'm now convinced that it's a consistent visual difference, not just the higher your head goes to more random, that the more you could be off. I think it's a consistently in this direction, consistently in this direction, I don't know. And that's interesting to me. I like learning shit about pool. That's why I experiment. Bah. Okay, something else that I need you to pay attention to, just in case it's relevant to the stroke. It's either relevant to the stroke or to the fact that this is new slick cloth. One of the things that I noticed was, so that's on the intersection, this is halfway between, you can probably tell from there, is if I shoot it my normal way, just lead with the elbow just a tad, just straight bottom, right? I have to make it, or the experiment doesn't count. Straight bottom, shoot it the old way. Okay. It's pretty much headed towards a scratch. That's not relevant, but that shows you the angle that I can come off there at. That was maximum bottom. I'm sure I could have gotten a better stroke on the ball, but that was, average of what I was seeing. So the same shot, this time I'm going to lead with the shoulder and be raised up just a little bit. And of course, it's going to do the exact same thing. Cameras like to make a liar out of me. I'm going to shoot this again, and then I'm going to tell you what happens in real life. There we go. The result is, or in real life, I get a better stroke, either because of this new cloth, which I don't think so, or because of leading with the shoulder. I get a little bit better stroke. That was going to about here. When I shot it a little while ago, it was going back to here. Better stroke. Other things that I have noticed, and this is going to be one of those times where I really wish I wasn't so horrible at examples, is in my old days of a week and a half ago, I would be very likely to have a cut on this 14 to my left. If I wanted to play all three of these in order in that pocket, it'd be very tough. Very likely to overcut or to send the cue ball over here somewhere. Instead of being able to hold this angle for the 2, let alone hold the angle for the 2, so I could then drift over for the 8. Now here tonight, with this stroke, possibly with this cloth, I'm able to do this. Now it's not going to work this time because I'm this shot is lined up straight for about right there. But I feel like I can miscue. Secret pull, right? Never mentioned I hate pull. I'm lining this up the same way. There's these little cube-shaped things, and they have an open side. The other sides are paper. They have a side that doesn't have paper. You take that side and you rub that against the tip of your cube until the whole tip of your cube is a uniform color. Don't use the paper side to do that. Use the side without the paper and do that. Then have a halfway decently straight stroke. Okay, so I did overshoot the 2 a little bit. And that's actually why I just fired up the camera. I did a hell of a lot better job with that than I have done in the past. A hell of a lot better job. And what I want to do is get some kind of a measurement of, with straight bottom, how much can I draw back? How good am I at just drawing back? This is one such example. How far up this rail can I hit if I shoot this 8 in that corner with straight draw? Efren could probably scratch in this corner. Dave cannot, but Dave can miss scratch in the side and come up along here somewhere. At least if he doesn't stink up the place on that particular shot. You gotta make it. I'm irritated that I haven't made the shot as often as without making it real live. You're missing I hate pool. Well, yeah, that's why. So that's one potential thing that I could do for how straight can I draw back, as opposed to the cue ball drifting. And does leading with the shoulder make a difference? I mean, another option would just be, it's kind of a fairly simple one, I guess. Put the 8 there. Don't put the cue ball on the spot. Put it so the right edge of the cue ball is on that intersection. And then shoot it. And see, what can I do? Can I draw straight back into the pocket, even though it's a cut to my left? I don't think so. I ought to be able to come pretty close. And so that's the kind of shot that, I mean, I hit the point. That's probably not a very good example, because you start hitting the point, it gets really weird. I have absolutely noticed playing that I could have shots where a week and a half ago I wasn't sure if I could draw and miss some other balls without really pounding the shit out of it. But here these last couple of days, I am able to do it. And I don't have any fear of being able to do it. I need to be able to recognize it, because obviously there's limits to it, to any of it. There's going to be limits. I'd like to find a good, reliable way to do this. This is the spank shot that I mess with all the time. I could do it with this. The problem with this is I'm used to shooting it with bottom right. And can I do the same thing with straight bottom? But I still have to make the shot. Now I know I can do better than that with bottom right. I can scratch in the side with bottom right. But maybe with straight bottom, maybe that's the best I can do. Maybe that's the best I can do. I didn't see where the 5 went either. The 5 hit this rail on the way in, that type of shit. This is not the best test for this type of thing. because it's a bank shot that I kind of like the idea of having a straight shot, but instead of putting the cue ball on the dot to make it a straight shot, just go off just a little bit. Just go off just a little bit and see what's the best I can do. But right there in that case, let's assume that was the best I could do. Can I do that by leading with the elbow? Don't know. Feel like I should know and feel like I should find out. Then once this table starts playing more like a normal table, then I should do the same kind of experiment again. My feeling is that I can get better action on the cue ball by leading with the shoulder. It's going to be a timing thing, possibly a tip accuracy thing as well, but I think mostly a timing thing. My feeling is that I get better action by leading with the shoulder. I've been shooting enough these last several days that I would really be surprised if that ended up not being the case. That it was all tip accuracy or something like that. There's something special about this leading with the shoulder that I'm taking as much advantage of as I can, but I also want to know what's going on. I want to learn about it and know what's going on and remember it for the future. That shit, if I lead with the shoulder, I don't have any problem drawing back and missing these other balls, for example. Now, there could be other cases where maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I want to not draw back as well. Draw back at more of a tangent. Just a complete guess, and you don't know what the hell I'm talking about when I do stuff like this. But I know what I'm talking about, and that's my camera. Yay.